When life feels like a string of obligations with the joy stripped out, logotherapy says the problem isn't that you're flawed, it's that meaning is missing. Viktor Frankl, a neurologist and psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust, built a practical approach from that insight. His core claim: humans are driven by a will to meaning. Even when we can't control circumstances, we can choose our stance and find purpose. That choice is where dignity, resilience, and meaning live. Meet Sam, a mid-30s software engineer in Toronto. During a round of layoffs, he lost his job and, with it, the weekly rhythm that had given his days shape. He slept late, scrolled endlessly, and felt an odd emptiness. What Frankl called the existential vacuum, a pervasive sense of boredom and pointlessness. Sam's skills were intact, but the why had evaporated. Logotherapy offers him a path back, not by demanding happiness, but by helping him discover meaningful aims he can pursue now. 3 foundational ideas anchor logotherapy. First, the will to meaning. People thrive when they pursue goals that matter to them. Second, freedom of will. Even in constrained situations, we retain the freedom to choose our attitude. Third, meaning is unique and situational. What gives one person purpose may be meaningless to another. Frankl argued that meaning can be found in 3 ways. 1, through creative work, what you give the world. 2, through experiences and encounters, what you take in, especially love. And 3, through the attitude you adopt toward unavoidable suffering. Frankl's wartime observations became the basis for techniques that are surprisingly concrete. Paradoxical intention helps with anticipatory anxiety by encouraging you to intentionally wish for or imagine the feared outcome in a light-hearted way to diffuse its power. De-reflection shifts attention away from obsessive self-focus toward meaningful tasks or others. Socratic dialogue, asking pointed, guiding questions, uncovers values and latent purposes. These aren't mystical tricks. They're pragmatic reorientations that create space for action. Evidence from psychology supports the intuition that meaning matters. Studies repeatedly link a strong sense of purpose to better mental health, lower rates of depression, and greater resilience during stress. Research also associates purpose with long-term health benefits and healthier aging. In short, meaning is not just feel-good rhetoric. It predicts real outcomes. How would Sam apply logotherapy in daily life? First, he lists 3 small, meaningful projects. Finish an open-source feature he's proud of, creative work, volunteer once a week teaching coding to teens, experiential connection, and adopt an attitude practice. Each evening he writes 1 sentence about how he responded to hardship that day, focusing on choice rather than blame. These map to Frankl's triad: creativity, experience, attitude, and are deliberately actionable. Here are micro-practices anyone can use tonight and tomorrow. 1. The meaning inventory. 10 minutes. List recent moments that felt worthwhile, big or tiny. This trains noticing and reveals patterns. 2. Future letter. 15 minutes. Write a short letter from your future self who has achieved a modest, concrete goal. Describe what you did and how it mattered. This leverages the will to meaning and orients action. Their de-reflection task daily. When ruminating, shift attention to a small outward task. Help a neighbor, fix a piece of code, call someone. Acting interrupts anxious loops. 4. Attitude rehearsal evening. Recall 1 unavoidable difficulty from the day and write 1 sentence about the choice you made in response, however small. This strengthens freedom of stance. 5. Paradoxical intention for insomnia, anxiety. If fear of sleeplessness is feeding itself, deliberately try to stay awake for 5 minutes with playful curiosity. The pressure drops and performance anxiety often eases. Logotherapy refuses to promise a pain-free life. Instead, it promises that meaning can be found, and sometimes created, even in hardship. For Sam, purpose returned slowly. Finishing the open-source feature gave him competence and pride. Teaching teens rebuilt social connection. The nightly attitude note rewired his interpretation of events from victimhood to agency. His days regained shape. Meaning, in this view, is less a life's trophy and more the steady work of answering life's demands with responsibility and creativity. Start small. Notice what matters to you, commit to one modest project, and practice choosing your stance. Over weeks, the accumulation of these choices becomes a life that holds meaning, not because conditions are perfect, but because you decided to act as if they could be.